maybe at 500 yen and give us a complete piece of rock instead of one that is sliced in half and you cover it with flat, glossy, plain plastic on the other side. What nonsense is this, right? Are you guys going to save on cost, manufacturing cost, just from slicing a rock in half? I don't get it. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven, and as usual for today we'll be taking a look at anime skill figure as well as third-party resin figure pre-orders between 2nd to 8th of July. So we are officially into the second half of the year. Last week we had a huge amount of figures that went on pre-order because, key performance index, KPI. So this week, yeah, things are a bit more chill, though there are still a couple or trio of, pretty interesting figures that we need to talk about. So now we shall jump into AmiAmi.com, and as usual in the top 10 above, in first place, Dark Magician. So I know that Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty popular, the card game at least. However, I never thought that the character Dark Magician would be so popular to have a figure ending up in first place in the pre-order rankings. Really, there has been so many third-party resin figures for Dark Magician as well, so maybe I might be underestimating her popularity. In 7th place, we have a palm size, a very small figure from Onimai. She was, or he was in first place just a day ago when I checked out AmiAmi. And rounding up the top 10, that is about it. Not many skill figures in the top 10 for the week. On 8th of July, only one single skill figure, this one right here, Ideal Girlfriend Housemate Anilia, 1x7 skill from Healing. Another new figure brand I've never heard of. This is the first time I'm seeing this name. Only 15,400 yen. Provisional pre-order, which means, 99% Healing is a Chinese figure brand. Makes sense since this thing is so cheap at 15,400 yen. So let's have a look at the figure. Oh nice, we are getting a cat at the base. Now this figure, the pose looks a bit awkward to me. Like, it doesn't look natural at all. And from specific angles the figure does look weird in the face as well. Let me look for the close-up pictures if any. I like the cat so much. This specific angle over here looks kind of odd to me. This angle over here. Perhaps just a result of converting 2D art into 3D object, solid object. Though I have to wonder why this picture over here, this one is the main product image for this figure. Like, you're not even giving us, the customers, the collectors, a good initial impressions when we look at the product. You will want the best photo of a particular product to be the first one, right? If you just turn the figure a bit, this specific angle over here, she looks a lot better. This angle. I can see why this figure is plenty affordable now, because this is not the most detailed figure out there, but 15,000 yen, I think it is acceptable given that this is customable. You can remove the chest part and expose her boobs if you are into that. Now we are back to this page. We scroll down to the 7th of July. And as usual on a Friday, typically we see the most figures on pre-order. No difference from this Friday, but not as bad as last week, right? Not to mention, Kadokawa is on a spree of second rounds of pre-order once again, so we shall go through them one by one over here. The first one for this day, we have Dark Magician Girl from Yu-Gi-Oh! This is by Mega House under their Artworks Monsters series. First time I've heard of this product line, like how many product line they need to come up with. This one is going for 26,400 yen, no early bird discounts, and at non-scale this figure is 22.5 centimeters, so roughly 1/8 scale. Not really a big figure right here, so 26k is pretty pricey. Specifically with Dark Magician Girls, interestingly, I've seen a big number of figures for this very character from Yu-Gi-Oh! I have no idea how popular she is, but aside from a number of third-party resin figure brands out there, they have been making quite a number of new ones lately as well. Max Factory is re-releasing one of their scales of the very same character. There's something special about this one compared to the one made by Max Factory, and yeah, the blue color outfit is very metallic looking. Yeah, very glossy, almost metallic. I'm not sure if the outfit she wears is supposed to be metal, but I assume that it is, right? It looks kind of like armor to me. So hold on, is the hat in front more like the armor? Is it semi-translucent? I'm not so sure. Yeah, I think it is translucent. You can see her hair a bit underneath that armor, which is very interesting. So this figure of Dark Magician does look a bit different from other options in the market, though 26,400 yen is quite expensive for something around 1/8 scale. Up next, this is something different for once as well. Also from Mega House, we have Desktop Wheel McCoy X Dragon Ball Z, Sengoku and Gohan and Bipedal Walking Robot, going for 27,280 yen. This is also a non-scale, and at this and the dimensions is only 20 centimeters. This is a very small figure, right? So this is closer to 1/10 scale. 1/10 or even 1/12 scale. 20 centimeters, but Goku is like half the overall height of the whole figure. 1/10, I think. I have no idea whether this thing even existed in Dragon Ball, like this hybrid motorcycle mecha over here, but this is something different. It's not something I would expect to see in Dragon Ball. Yeah. Up next, another Mega House figure, we have Tsunade from Naruto Shippuden. This is only 16,300 yen. Non-scale once again, 20 centimeters tall, so make it that 1/8 scale. This one, yeah, 16k for something like this. For once, this is not too bad. Because Mega House, which is Bandai, yeah, they have the tendency to overprice their things by a little, but this one over here for 16k feels a bit more reasonable. Yeah, compared to the first Dark Magician figure. Once again, Naruto as well, a lot of options in the third-party resin market. Up next, okay, we have a bunch of... This is not exactly a re-release, more like Kadokawa is taking a second round of pre-orders. Interestingly, there are about 5 figures over here where they are coming out as soon as September, yeah, which is like a month and a half away. And Kadokawa is taking a second round of pre-orders. I don't know, did they manufacture too many? Yet they did not receive enough pre-orders. So they are opening pre-orders again. Because nowadays figures are so expensive, you know. So I'm not surprised if less and less people are collecting scale figure nowadays. So the first one over here, this was one of my favorite comedy anime as well, from the author of Konosuba, right? Alice Kisaragi light novel version. She looks quite different from what we see in anime, since this is a light novel version. But for 18,500 yen, I would say this is a great figure to have. I actually do like this one. Since when have we seen a lolly in a white summer dress carrying around a shotgun? Yeah, maybe that is something like that in Girls Frontline or Azalane. Not Azalane, Girls Frontline and maybe Arc Knights. But then again, 18,000 yen, not bad really. This one, the second one, which is also a second round of pre-order, coming out in September as well. Yeah, from Higurashi When They Cry, we have Rena Real Good Angel Mode version. The weird part is the other character is not getting a pre-order. Maybe next week, right? Maybe. 17,600 yen. Okay. I'm not sure if I like this version of Rena. I would like something that reveals her, how do I call it? Her yandere side. Yeah, yandere. That's the word over there. The next one here, seriously, pre-order already closed, right? This just went on pre-order an hour, 2 hours ago, and she is already sold out. By the way, I'm filming this on Friday, and this went on pre-order on Friday. Okay, anyways, my Sakurajima, I know that she is incredibly popular, but a lot of her scale figures are expensive, so it is no wonder that this one is selling well. Though personally, I mean, if this one is sold out, I wouldn't worry too much about it because there are so many great options in the price figure market, right? There is no loss if you miss out on this one. Though understandably, this is her original black bunny suit which we saw in the early parts of the anime, and many of us would prefer her to be in this outfit. So I can see why she is selling well. Up next, okay, this is the second round pre-order. We have CA Works. CA Works is Chara Ani and Kadokawa working together. From Mushoku Tensei, we have Aris Boreas Grey Rat, just under 20,000 yen. Now, this one is something I can recommend. I do like this one a lot. Okay, so underneath that, that delicious body of hers, yeah, there is a raincoat on top. I do like this one. Out of so many figures of Aris, this is one of the better ones which I really do like. However, I don't have any plans to collect Mushoku Tensei figures. We are in for a long way because this anime is going to get a lot of seasons. Season 2 just started, and apparently there will be 2 courses, which means 24 episodes. So yeah, and there will be more in the future. Up next, this pair of chocolate and vanilla figures made swimsuit version from Nekopara. Second round of pre-orders, though this time around you have to order both if you're interested. You can't pre-order them separately for 45,000 yen as a set. Yeah, to me, it doesn't make sense to buy or pre-order only either one. You need both, right? I mean, how weird it is to have a figure like holding someone's hand, yet there is no one next to her. They are holding hands, so you'll need both. 45k for both, so that is about 22,500 yen for each. 26 centimeters, that is actually pretty tall for a 1x7 scale. We are breaching 1x6 scale at this point. Up next, this is also a second round of pre-order, 21,000 yen. We have Roxanne from Isekai Harem. I think I used to talk about this figure before as well, and I'm not sure if I like the outfit or the night dress on this version of Roxanne because it looks like she is wearing a large sheet of modeling wax to me. You know, in dentistry, they actually use wax to make a draft model of your dentures or artificial teeth, and then they convert it to real fake teeth, real dentures. And yeah, if you have seen dentures before, the pink color for the gum region, that is exactly what this looks like, the outfit over here. So yeah, I just couldn't get over how weird the outfit here looks. I suppose that this is cast offable. There are no pictures over here. I'm not sure if she is cast offable. It almost looks like it is, and if that is the case, I think this material, this translucent wax-like material makes sense because they are color-injected materials, so they will not inflict any paint transfer. However, I'm not sure if this is cast offable at all. There are no indications in the product pictures. Okay, the next one here, now we have Felino, 1x7 scale Kowakuma-san, illustrated by Seika Yashiro, going for 23,000 yen, coming out in February next year, 2024. Okay, so this figure, once again, I suppose that I like figures that are a bit more complex, so this is a bit too plain to my liking. Okay, is she cast offable? I don't think so. Once again, based on an artwork, and I'm not sure if I like this artwork. Yeah, so I'm skipping this one. Yeah, there's a slightly cheaper version over here, but the difference is only a few hundred yen. Might as well go for the one with Ami bonus if the difference is so negligible. Now we are done with 7th of July. We move down to the 6th of July. There is a couple of very interesting figures on this day. The first one here, yeah, this one from Blue Archive, we have Freeing Beastyle 1x4 scale Shishido Izume swimsuit version, more like tentacle molesting version or something like that, going for 55,000 yen. That is painful, but you see, there are things I like about this figure, and also one thing which I don't like. Let me explain. Okay, so we'll bring up this picture over here. Now, this isn't a bunny figure, not a bunny suit figure at 1x4, so something unusual for once. Freeing does make non-Barney 1x4s every once in a while. I think we see them as frequently as once a month or so. Last month we had Tamamo, which, yeah, that one was also around 55k by the way. This one, how do I put it? It is something different because I think this is the very first time I've seen a figure getting harassed by an octopus. Though, can octopus survive outside of water? I'm not sure. I'm not good with biology stuff, especially with animals. So having Izumi-san being harassed by octopus is something different for once. However, if there's one thing I don't like about this figure at all, this picture right here, what the hell is this? Like, freeing, this figure is expensive enough, 55,000 yen. Maybe add 500 yen and give us a complete piece of rock instead of one that is sliced in half and you cover it with flat, glossy, plain plastic on the other side. What nonsense is this, right? Are you guys going to save on cost, manufacturing cost, just from slicing a rock in half? I don't get it. This is completely unnecessary. Unnecessary cost cutting, I would say. Since the figure is so expensive already, might as well add 500 yen, 1000 yen. I don't know really how much that rock is going to cost them and give us a complete piece, right? So that is ridiculous. But other than that, I don't think I've seen a figure, regardless of 1x8, 1x7 or 1x4 scale, where we get to see the character being harassed, being molested by an octopus. This is not common. So in this sense, this figure is something I can recommend if you have deep pockets. Up next, this is also one of the better figures this week from eStream. We have M950A. The Wobbler and the Rose damaged version from Girls Frontline, going for 32,000 yen, coming out in April 2024. This is a lot simpler than our typical eStream figure we have gotten to know over the years. They like to give us complex bases with a lot of sometimes unnecessary effect parts. This one is a lot simpler by their standards, by the way. But at the same time, there is something really elegant about this figure. Yeah, this is mostly a white dress all over the figure, but for something that is predominantly white color, they managed to make the figure look interesting, look detailed, and kind of fancy at the same time. Which is why, yeah, I am quite interested in this figure. I don't see myself pre-ordering. So regardless of how much I like the character design, I have my own priorities, which is unfortunate. It is not like money grow on trees, you know. Up next, this is also one of the better looking figures of the week. The problem is the brand behind this figure is Medicos Entertainment. I suspect that they hold the rights to this Black Lagoon franchise, this anime, because every time there is a figure on a Black Lagoon character, more than often it involves Medicos, including the Nandoroids. Yeah, they work with Good Smile, for example. So we have Balalaika Crimson Empress version, 1x7 scale at 23,650 yen. This is actually great value because the figure at least does appear to be pretty detailed, and you're getting a very nice chair where she is sitting on. I believe there is a second counterpart. There is a figure of Ravi with a very similar pose. I think they are meant to go together as a set. So when you look at this figure as an entire package, under 24,000 yen seems like a steal to me, a bargain. But then again, Medicos doesn't have the best of reputations among figure companies. Yeah, that occasional QC issue. In general, their figures are average to above average. Not a bad purchase in general. Not like you guys have a choice, because if you want a figure of Black Lagoon, Medicos has to get involved somehow. Yeah. Up next, from Belfine, we have, Grateful Buster from Fairy Tail Final Series, 17,600 yen, more or less. That is a discount down from 20,600 yen. Okay, so this one is coming out in December. You see, if you noticed, these higher quality figure brands, can be eStream, can be Outer, Max Factory, and so on. If they pre-order open a figure today in July, The figure releases sometime 9 to 12 months later on average, plus minus. And then, you see, figure companies like this, Belfine, right, they are not really that good. Pre-order open in July, releases end of this year. Either they are not selling many of these figures, they don't expect to sell many, or yeah, they are rushing things. It is either one or maybe both, right? So with Fairy Tail, obviously I have no interest in shonen stuff. Is this worth 17,500 yen? Well, for a 1x8 scale figure with a unique base, sort of, and a character which I don't think there are many options in the figure market, I think it is worth taking the risk if you're interested in this character. Otherwise, I don't think you should bother if this is not your favorite character in Fairy Tail. Yeah. Up next, we have pop-up rate. Yeah, Suzume Iwato from Suzume no Tojimari, 4,080 yen. Yeah, just wait for after release. I don't see a point of pre-ordering something like this. This is also one of those few figures which I don't think Good Smile will screw up in any way. Looks quite a simple figure to me. Next one over here from Tenitol, we have Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, right? What is this hidden inventory premature death thing about? Wait. This product cannot be shipped to the following area, Asia. So I won't be able to pre-order this thing. One of those regional restrictions, I suppose, because of exclusivity deals with some distributors. For example, in each country, there may be one or two official distributor for a specific brand product, and the same applies to Gunpla. Well, Monopoly sucks, but then this figure doesn't look that great either. I think it is no big loss. I have a big problem with that outfit over there because it looks so glossy. Like, is his outfit even that glossy and shiny looking in the first place? I don't think so, right? Up next, this is also the same thing. We have restriction for shipping to Asia. Tanito Suguru Ghetto Hidden Inventory Premature Death Complete Figure, 5,140 yen. This is also an over-glorified price figure. Like, barely any details on the figure. I can tell already from these product photos, like, what is this, man? Seriously, this is 5,000 yen. The thing is so glossy, so shiny. Oh god. No. Regardless of the restrictions, I would say stay away from this pair of figures. Up next, okay. Melty Princess Oni-chan wa Oshimai Palm Size Mahiro-chan from Mega House, 7,000 yen. This is a tiny figure, like, no, this small. So 7,000 yen is actually pretty expensive for something this small, but once again, we are talking about Mega House and Bandai over here. There we go. This thing is tiny. And interestingly, I've noticed that Onimai is relatively popular, maybe only in Japan, or is it that popular worldwide? I'm not that sure, because we have reached a point where even third-party resin figure companies are actually doing something about this anime, this series, so it is kind of interesting. I personally feel the anime to be quite mid, like, yeah, it was enjoyable but nothing too outstanding, so I'm not really sure about the popularity behind this series. Up next, Mega House GEM series, yeah, palm size figure as well, Katsuki Bakugo from BNHA, which I will tell you not to bother, just buy price figure at this point because the thing is so small, you know. The same thing for the next one over here, palm size Tobio Kageyama from Haikyuu, 6,350 yen. This is one of the better looking figures of Tobio Kageyama, I think. One of the better looking ones. Are there any price figures from Haikyuu? I don't think so, right? If not, it is only between this and Tenitol. But Tenitol's Haikyuu figures are kind of horrible as well, so maybe this is one of the better choice over here, despite the small size of the figure. Up next, we have Owl Box. First time I'm hearing this figure brand, but since this is a provisional pre-order, that means this is a Chinese brand. Pilosa New Year version 1x6 scale. This is going for almost 16,000 yen, coming out in April next year. Uh, Pilosa. Is this an original art character? Must be, right? Okay, so this figure looks really weird from some specific angles because we're talking about converting a 2D art into a 3D object. So inevitably, the figure is going to look weird from some angles. This one is one of those examples. Like from this angle over here, the eyes even look misaligned. Yeah. Anyways, we take a look at more pictures. This angle over here, yeah, looking at her from her right side looks a bit more normal. This one still looks weird. Yeah, it's like the eyes are uneven. I'm not sure if this is just an illusion because of photography. This angle looks fine too. I think it is an illusion. Pastel colors, very bright and light colors going around. Simple round disc base. This kind of looks like a very Chinese take of a bunny suit figure. Like bunny version, but we do some Chinese sculpture spin on it. Yeah. Up next, we have Kotobukiya Art FXJ, Banana Fish, Ash, and AG 1/8 scale. 2 figures for 22,400 yen. Yeah. I think, how do I put it? This is more of a give and take scenario. Sure, this is extremely affordable. We're looking at an average 11,000 yen for each figure plus a very nice base over there. But then again, yeah, this is one of those lower detail scale figures. I mean, look at the outfit, the shirt, right? The creases, the folds, you can already tell. Normally, I would expect to see the folds to have some shading, and there is barely any on both of these figures. Yeah, so in the end, this is a matter of getting what you pay for. Like this specific close-up picture of Ash over here, this is borderline price figure quality. Yeah, not very good, really. Not good at all. But then again, I don't think this is a bad value proposition for those who like banana fish. Yeah. Now let's move on to the 4th of July where we actually have a very nice scale figure over here from Girls Frontline. But firstly, oh yes. You know this anime, when I saw this figure of Ai Hinatsuru going on pre-order a few days ago, yeah, this is a FREEing Style 1x4 scale re-release. 26,400 yen, not bad for a 1x4 scale, but this isn't a very tall figure because this is a 9-year-old girl, right? Yeah. And of course, this is a re-release. Back then, we have a fishnet stocking version. This is a barrel version. So after I saw this figure going on pre-order a few days ago, I actually went back to watch the anime Ryuo no Oshigoto, and it was oddly enjoyable. Yeah. I watched it before, but I decided to rewatch it. It was fun. Yeah. She goes with Sora Ginko over there, though in the anime they are always bickering and fighting each other, yeah, over the most petty things. The next one over here, yeah, this figure of M4A1 from Girls Frontline, made by Phat Company, almost 30,000 yen. This is one of the best looking figures this week, together with the E-Stream figure earlier. 30,000 yen, yeah, pretty expensive, but this figure is totally up my alley, even though until today I don't have any Girls Frontline figure yet, not even one. And this is one of those that I like simply because, yeah, details. Okay, so there is one plastic rod over there, very unfortunate. And I do wonder if her other leg, that right leg, is going to get any support at all. I think Phat Company should really revise this figure and give the other leg support as well, because the weight balance isn't there with this figure. I can already tell. I mean, she is carrying a huge rifle case behind her. Of course, that rifle case is going to be made of ABS, very lightweight, but still, you know, the solution is so simple. Just need an additional rock, yeah, some object on the ground, and plug her leg in, and that is it. Yeah, at 1,000 yen, fine. But it looks more appropriate, it looks more natural and more elegant that way. Why give us a base like this and put a plastic rod which is outside the base boundaries? Sometimes the amount of cost cutting that goes into these figures, high-end, expensive scale figures, are kind of mind-boggling to me. It doesn't make any sense at all. Since this is going to be an expensive figures anyways, why are you cutting corners? Just go all out. Yeah, like you see in this photography work over here, there are a bunch of debris, building debris, concrete pieces on the ground. Yeah, give us one of that as a part of the base and then you plug that other leg in. Is it that difficult? This is ridiculous, man. It is such a shame because this figure is almost perfect, almost there. But she falls behind the likes of that Extreme figure earlier just because of the questionable decisions Phat Company made with the support of this figure over here. The next one here from Riddle Joko, we have Ayase Mitsukasa limited edition with acrylic stand and 1/7 scale by Broccoli, 22,000 yen. Broccoli is also one of those average to below average figure companies. Like their stuff can be okay or in certain occasions not so much. Though my experience with them was so many years ago, I think it is unfair for me to call them below average when I haven't touched their figures in so many years. Pretty much everyone will improve over time, right? Now, when I look at the character design of this character, yeah, she looks like one of those eroge light novel game characters from 10 or 15 years ago. The art style, the character design style is a bit old school. Feels like something from mid-2000s, late 2000s. I don't hate it though because my journey with anime starts as far back, back in the mid-2000s. So I can certainly appreciate something like this. The next one here is a re-release and one of the better re-releases in recent months. Ultimate Madoka from Puella Magi Madoka Magica on discount, 16,500 yen only. This one is by Good Smile, coming out next February. With this figure of Ultimate Madoka over here, if my memory served me correctly, when she came out almost 8 or 10 years ago, she was like 15,000 yen or so. But then Japanese yen back then was a lot more expensive than it is today. So for this figure to be re-released and priced at 16,500 yen after a small discount, actually when you convert it to your own local currency, whichever currency it is, this is actually cheaper than the initial release from so many years ago. This kind of shows you how expensive it is to create the molds needed to mass produce these figures, the casting process. So to prepare for the casting process of the figure cost a lot, and they have already invested that money in many years ago. Now they just need to reuse the same molds to mass produce this thing. So in the end, we are getting the savings over here, which is really nice, like they did not try to overprice the thing, which I really appreciate. So should you pre-order this figure of Madoka? If you don't have one and you like her a lot, then obviously the answer is yes. However, if you already own this figure, should you get another one, like pre-order a second one? The answer is also yes. And I'm saying this as someone who doesn't like Madoka at all. I never liked the art style of the anime and the character designs. So why should you go for a second one if you already have one? Because it is just a matter of time before your current Madoka figure you have all these years will collapse down on its own weight. Yeah. So I have friends who own this figure. They just leave it in the Detolf as usual. They never touch it much other than cleaning off the dust, of course. And the figure just broke off from the base on its own. It collapsed due to its own heavy weight over here. The weight is not balanced, because the figure is plugged into the base on the back, one single large back over there, and all of the weight is in front. The figure is in front, so this is a pretty heavy figure, and that back is not going to last really long. It is just a matter of time. So if you had one all these years and somehow the figure is still holding on, get a second one if you want a backup. Get the second one, unless your figure is being stored in box rather than being displayed on the shelf, of course. Now we move up to 3rd of July. On Monday, there are 2 scale figures over here. So the first one we have Bridget from Guilty Gear. yeah, we all complained how many Bridget figures there were in the previous Wonder Festival. This is just another one by Broccoli, almost 27,000 yen, which is pretty expensive. So this is just a matter of whether you like this version of Bridget. If you don't like that, then wait for the next one or go for the ones made by other figure companies. Yeah, so many options. This is a great looking figure of Bridget though. Actually, the detail department is not too bad. I don't think I want to be too harsh on Broccoli despite what I know about them. My knowledge on this company is probably very outdated, right? I need to get my hands on a Broccoli figure these days and see what it is like. Okay, there you go. This is without the Ami exclusive bonus, which is like 2,000 yen. Still pretty pricey at 25k, but I think I need to reset my expectations a bit. Obviously, figure prices have been going up. And lastly, for this day, we have Hatsune Miku Symphony version 2022. 1x1 skill. Okay, so she's more like a fairy over here, a very small character. By Good Smile, 25,000 yen, coming out in July next year, 1 year away. Okay, I think I mentioned this in my not Wonder Festival, that event coverage from several months ago, where this figure was reviewed to be a painted prototype. I still prefer the version 2021 Symphony, where she is standing on that musical instrument, whatever that is called. Yeah, I prefer that one. This one still looks great. It still looks unique. But yeah, to me, the existing one that is already out in the market happens to be better. Of course, this is a subjective opinion. 25,000 yen for this one in comparison to the Bridget. I think this one is slightly better value. Yeah. Now that we're done with Ami, let's check out Aniplex Plus as well as Ninin Game for a couple of exclusive figures not available in Ami. Now we are in Aniplex Plus website and we scroll down, there you go, that figure over there from Karano Kyokai. This one over here, Ryogishiki at 1x7 scale, going for 22,000 yen. Okay, this one over here, Karano Kyokai, this almost feels like a remake of the very same sculpt, very same character from more than 10 years ago. I think there was a figure with a very similar pose that came out long ago. It is a very outdated figure. It does not look good at all by today's standards. So yeah, Aniplex holds the license to this Type Moon universe. So naturally, they're going to make a figure of this at some point. Me being a fan of Type Moon, and yeah, Karano Kyokai is like under Type Moon universe. I don't think I'll pick up this figure, like not a priority to me. Though I do wonder how the figure is going to stand up in the long term, because as we can see, that is a very imbalanced figure in terms of weight distribution. The leg is leaning to one side by almost 30 degrees, which is a lot. It is very likely that we'll get some extra support poles, those plastic poles on the right side of the figure to support underneath her skirt. That is my guess over here. A lot of figure companies, they are not very honest nowadays. Like, if there is a support over there, let us know in advance, like what Phat Company did with M4A1 earlier. Yes, we, the figure collectors, are going to complain when we see that, but it is better to be honest than trying to hide it, and then when the figure does come out, we get 2 or 3 extra plastic poles out of nowhere. So 22,000 yen for this, I think it isn't a bad proposition, but at the same time, this is too lazy coming from Aniplex. Seriously, give us a better base than a plain round black disc with nothing on it. At least engrave or use decals, right, and apply decals on the base, Karano Kyokai or the character's name on it. Nothing, just plain black. And then over here in niningame.com, as usual, there are a bunch of Nikan Soldier figures by Insight at 1x4 and 1x6 scale, very X-rated. I'm not putting it on screen, go and check it out yourself. But there is one figure over here which I would like to talk about, because this is a great figure. Mataru original character, Sinful Saint Sister Aisha 1x6 scale limited edition by Pink Cat. And native 37,200 yen. Now, this is a great looking figure. 37,000 yen is a lot, even for a 1x7 scale. But then, you know, native figures, they are the kind where their prices don't drop. So if you like the character design over here, I would say don't think twice and go for it. Pre-order one before you regret it. Yeah. To me, I really like this one a lot. I think 37,000 yen, the price is being so high because of that cross she is holding behind her. Yeah, that has to be the reason. But other than that, I would love to have one. Seriously. This is one of the better figures of the week as well. Man, I like this a lot. And now that we are done with anime scale figures on pre-order this week, we shall move on to this channel's affiliate partner, OSGK, to check out third-party resin figures. As usual, every single figure I'm about to cover, there is an affiliate link in the descriptions below. Make use of them if you are interested in any of the figures. Okay, so now we are in osgk.com. As usual, we go down to the bottom over here. There is the newest pre-orders section. Well, I'm filming this in advance on a Friday, so this newest pre-order section, by the time you open the website on your own, it is going to look a bit different, right? Okay, so I have already selected the figures I want to cover. Female characters only because I can't cover everything, too many. And let's go on with the first one over here. Spirited Away Ogino Chihiro from Bing Bing Studio. The full price on this one is $65 only at 10 centimeters tall. Okay, so $65 for 10 centimeters tall, that is actually pretty expensive when I think about it. 10 centimeters tall is like the size of an android, and she is more expensive than, yeah, a pop-up red figure, despite being smaller. Are we getting the grandma over there? If we're getting both, then yeah, I think the price makes sense, $65. But if you're getting just Ogino Shino, $65, no, I can't recommend this even if you are a fan of Spirited Away. The next one here, this is technically a dude, but then since this is Kime Yaiba we're talking about, so I shall cover him for a bit. Tokito Muichiro from Demon Slayer. So this one is by Nejuan Studio at 1/6 scale, 27 centimeters tall, solid color version, $128. Transparent version, which looks a lot better for the same price. The problem is the face of this figure doesn't look like Muichiro at all. It is so broken that I can't recommend this figure at all, despite the mostly impressive looking effect parts over here. Like, it almost feels like those effect parts are meant to distract you from the very fact that his face does not look very good. Yeah, I get it. Nice base, nice effect parts, but that face over there, does it even look like Muichiro at all? This looks like something made from a startup company who are hiring 3D modelers that are not very good at their jobs. I think that was the closest pic we can get to his face, this picture over here. So this does not look good at all. Feels more like bootleg quality in some ways. I know this is harsh coming from me, but hey, that doesn't look good at all. So $130 is not much, but still, I can't recommend this, right? From HM Studio, we have Kamisato Ayaka. Once again, this is the third or fourth figure of her once a week for the past month. This one is by HM Studio, and there are two versions over here. Type A is going for $194. Type B, oh okay, which is basically the nude version, going for the same price. Okay, so let's have a look at the pictures over here. This almost feel like a plain 1/6 scale bikini figure, and I'm not sure if this is worth it at all. The one last week, the one in school uniform, at least that is something a bit more unique. You see this picture over here, this figure. Details are lacking, like there is nothing much going on with the sculpting. The hair fringes are also quite shallow, the sculpting, not much details, a very light amount of shading. And in fact, when I look at this photo over here, I feel like I'm looking at a price figure rather than a $200 figure at 1/6 scale. So I don't think I can recommend this one. If you absolutely want this figure of her, then go for the nude one, I suppose. Up next, from Feng Shui, or is it Feng Shui Studio? Yeah, we have Oyama Mahiro and Hozuki Kaede from Onimai. This one is going for $284 for the standard version And then there is the standard version with accessory kit for the nude body parts. $404, so not too bad for 2 figures over here. Yeah, basically you're paying $400 for one of the figures, which is kind of a trap in some way. As I mentioned earlier, Onimai is a lot more popular than I thought it would be, right? 2 figures on top of each other like this, I think at least there is a unique reason why you would want to purchase this. Something different for once. I think Native has a pair of figures of 2 girls in a 69 position. That is one of my favorite Native figures, which I don't have. To me, the biggest problem with this pair of figures over here is that it is very difficult to appreciate both figures when you display them the way they are meant to be displayed in this pose over here. When you put it on a shelf at any one time, when you look at the figure from any angle, you can only see one of the 2 figures' faces only. And looking at the figure from the side like this, the side view, not very nice to be honest. Up next, we have Anya Forger from Spy Family by Coco Studio. This one is going for $119. This is like that. Yeah, the prosperity cat in Japanese culture, but with Anya's head on it. I'm not sure if this is worth it. I mean, you're just replacing that prosperity cat with Anya's head on top. More of a novelty figure rather than being something unique. So, yeah, there are so many other better Anya figures out there. I'm not sure if this is the one you should go for. Up next, okay, this is one of the more interesting figures of the week, but we are looking at something more of a prototype stage over here. Yeah, this figure will be painted. The final products will be painted, right? Every single GK figure, resin figure that I cover, they are pre-painted, so no worries on that. This is just a very early bird pre-order for those of you who are interested and impatient at the same time. From Light Team Studio, we have Saber from Violet Evergarden. That was on purpose, by the way. So we only have one single picture over here, and also a picture of the ornament, an ornament of her mechanical arm. Nothing else yet. If you are impatient, surely go and drop down a $100 deposit on the figure. Otherwise, wait for more pictures before deciding on whether you should proceed with pre-ordering this figure in case you're interested. Violet Evergarden is one of those characters that was so immensely popular. Yet KyoAni was like, nope, you guys can't have the license, so there are no genuine figures of her out there, which is very unfortunate. Up next, we have more Asuka figures. There seems to be a couple of them every week. So this one is going for $135 each. Really up to you which color do you prefer. Tough choice to be honest, because I do like both colors. Personally, I like the lighter blue on the right side slightly more. But give me any one of them and I would be totally okay with it. This is more like lolly version of Asuka, right? Yeah, I think so. Schooling age Asuka. $135, not too bad really. What is their height? 26 centimeters. So this is 1/6 scale. $135 is great value, really. The next one over here, another figure of Lily. There seems to be a lot of third-party resin figures of this specific character somehow. Like, is she the most popular female character in Pokemon? Let me know. There has to be a reason, right? Why everyone's making her. So, this one is going for $55 for the JK version. And then there's the white hat version going for $59. And then swimsuit version, $57. Oh my god. This looks horrible. Once again, high school art student project, I think. I think the one on the left and in the middle still looks okay. I mean, it is under $60 after all. The one on the right, not fit for human collection. Not fit for human consumption. The next one here is for you guys, the lolicons out there. Dodomo Studio, Ryuge Kisaki at 1/6 scale from Blue Archive, going for $260. Now, 1/6 scale and lolly character, which isn't a tall character, may sound pretty expensive at $260, but you're actually getting almost 2 figures over here, 2 entire torsos. Let's go for the pictures over here. Oh yeah, that is hot. Yeah, I can see this figure selling a lot. Way before I made this video today, yeah, I'm already receiving orders for this figure. So yeah, believe it or not, people do like figures like this. There are like no two separate versions for you to choose from when you make this pre-order, which means for that $260 you are getting both. And the face expression on both figures, they are entirely different. So most likely you're getting two different figures with this one, which actually makes this a great value. Now, should you go for this, obviously, Blue Archive is something I'm very interested in. I have a figure of Asuna Ichinose coming end of this month, assuming there are no delays. So yeah, that would be my first figure from Blue Archive. Any other characters, we'll see case by case basis on what I might purchase in the future. Up next, from Miss Studio, we have Hu Tao from Genshin Impact. This is a 1x7 skill, by the way, going for $111 US, which is great value, excellent value. So at 1x7 skill, she is 23 centimeters tall, yeah. So there are no figures of Hu Tao yet after all these years of Genshin Impact since year 2020. So seriously, Apex Toys, MiHoYo, those guys are really taking their own sweet time. Like, it almost feels like the figures are not even their main priorities over here. They're focusing on other stuff. And this is a great option if you want a figure of Hu Tao because, yeah, you can remove her clothes, more like part swapping. There has been a number of bootlegs and third-party PVC figures of Hu Tao already out there. Like, quite a number of them. But most of them don't look as good. They just feel like bootlegs to me, the quality department. So if you want something better, then this might be an option. Yep. Up next, from Top King Studio, yeah, another Asuka figure. This one is going for $117 US only. So there are a lot of affordable resin figures for this week. This one is 1x6 scale. I think the dimensions isn't even mentioned. I think it is being mentioned in one of the pictures over here. There we go, 17 centimeters in this sitting posture. That has to be either 1x7 or 1x6. But regardless, $111 US is a great value over here. For me, I like this figure mainly for the pose. It looks very casual, very relaxed, and very natural. So a figure like this actually is very suitable for a photographer like me to create a diorama scene around her and photograph it. I would love to photograph this figure, seriously. The next one over here, we have a pair of Ram and Ram figures from Mimo Studio. This is their childhood version. The 1x6 scale is only $79 US each. So it is more like $160 for both, which is still a great price. Or you can get them at 1x4 scale for $153 US each. While this may be some of the most boring looking Ram and Ram figures out there, but this is their childhood version, not many options. Yeah, I mean $80 for a 1x6 isn't too bad. For me, I would still skip them though. Yeah, not my kind of figure really. Up next, this has to be one of the very best resin figures this week, top 3 best. From Dragon Studio, we have Yelan from Genshin Impact. This is a 1x4 scale. You're getting stuff like this. Yeah. Her face looks great over here. I don't like this version of Yelan. Like I said, this is one of the best resin figures this week. And Dragon Studio has been doing figures of every character. As you can see, Yelan is their 4th one. So if you want to have a rough idea on what the figure will be like, how should you trust this company and so on, maybe check out existing Genshin figures that are already out in the market. Yeah, look for the photos and you have a rough idea what to expect. Up next, we have a life-sized doll. You already know what it is. I personally call it Artificial Girlfriend. From Game Lady Studio, life-sized 1x1 scale Ada Wong from Resident Evil, starting from $2,294 US. And there is a slightly better version. They call it hair transplant version. Something different about hair, which is better. $2,588 US. And in my opinion, if you have over $2.5 grand US to drop on a statue like this, might as well go all out. You don't cut corners when you buy high-end stuff. What is 150 bucks? What is 200 bucks when you are dropping over 2 grand on a statue, not yet including shipping and taxes, right? And as for Game Lady Studio, actually it got me thinking, because they effortlessly come up with these life-sized statues, like it was so easy to manufacture them every single month. And when I think harder, probably it isn't as difficult or as complex to manufacture a life-sized doll like this compared to a 1x6 scale figure. Yeah, with intricate details. Something life-sized actually has less details, right? Because they are huge. And the second thing is that actually they only need to manufacture the head on their own. Yeah, the main head. And everything else below neck level, the torso, the body, the outfit even, can be outsourced to a third-party white label factory that manufactures adult toys, right? So they can source the body part for very cheap, mass produce it, and then they put their own head. They can price it very upmarket at over 2 grand, when the body mass produced in a white label factory would cost maybe $200 US, who knows? Yeah, so the profit margin is huge over here for sure. Don't get me wrong though, this is a genius business strategy. Up next, from Card Captor Studio, we have Kinomoto Sakura Summer Festival Clothes version from Card Captor Sakura, going for $151 US at 1x6 scale. So 1x6 scale, 151 bucks, and you're getting this entire package. Not too bad, but then again, this is one of those resin figures which looks more like a college art project to me. Yeah, maybe they are following the old school art style. Yeah, maybe they are following the old school art style, the old Card Captor Sakura from the 1990s, which is why her face looks like that. But then again, I can't say I like this one at all. Yeah. Up next, from Towering Model Studio, we have Smiling Teresa from Claymore. Claymore is also a classic. I don't even remember anything anymore, even though I used to watch the anime quite long ago. So there are 1x4 and 1x6 scale options for this one. At 1x4 scale, $757 US, 1x6 scale, $363 US, and there are 2 versions over here. So you get this classic skin version, this silver color, or you can get this, skin color instead of silver color. I prefer the silver color one. It looks more like she is wearing a bodysuit. And then there is the deluxe version, of course, where you get both bodies. The deluxe version at 1x6 scale is $407 US, 1x4 scale $809 US. Actually, both versions look great, but I think I have a slight preference towards the silver bodysuit over there. Claymore is also something very old classic anime now. Can't find figures of it anymore. So you have to rely on third-party resin brands like this one over here. Up next, another Asuka figure, the third one already, from Bruce Studio. This one is going for $153 US only. A lot of cheap Asuka figures this week. So you get the option for white base or black base, same price, right? If I wanted a figure of Asuka, I think I would prefer the one by Alter Steel. Yeah, the jersey version, which came out a number of years ago and was re-released once. Though that one wasn't nude, of course. This one is almost nude. Yeah, the Alter version of Asuka has a really nice ass over there. So that is a bonus. With this resin figure over here, unfortunately, the jacket is covering her backside. Up next, okay, this is one of the highlight figures of this week. I have also received quite a number of orders, even though there is no official pricing yet on these figures. Obviously, people are excited. From Honkai Star Rail, we have Kafka at 1x6 scale from Imagination Studio. This is a really good looking version. So we have version A, and version B is the casual knitwear version. They seem to be really popular with resin figure brands somehow. I think a number of Genshin figures also have this outfit as an option, and there is a Supreme version where you get parts for both, right? So only $50 or $100 deposit so far, with no price yet. So with a figure like this, yeah, almost looks like Scarhawk from FGO to me in some way, especially when I look at the bottom half of her body over there. yeah, if I were to pre-order this figure, I would go for the Supreme version. I would love to have both. The reason being, you see, this is what she looks like, right? What she looks like in the game, like the official outfit. And then this one is more like for personal enjoyment, the knitwear, because it looks fantastic, make no mistake. I really hope they get the face done right over here because this face is so attractive. Yeah. Up next, we have Black Magician Girl. You see, Mega House just put one on pre-order today. Now we have a third party over here from Kitsune Statue Studio. The full price on this one is $647 US. Oh, this is a licensed resin figure, by the way, so it is going to be really expensive. $647 US for a 1x6 scale. I'm not sure if it is worth it at all. This is pretty tall for a 1x6 scale, by the way. If I'm not mistaken, she is almost 40 centimeters tall. Is that even 1x6 scale anymore? You see, this armor over here, it looks more like a classic traditional armor. The one Mega House earlier from Mega House was translucent. It was interesting in a way. The base is fantastic though. There we go, 41.3 centimeters, and even if I were to deduct the base, right, the height of the base, this is closer to 1x5 scale rather than 1x6 scale. However, $643, I'm not that sure really. Up next, oh yes, from Atelier Ryza we have Rizalin Stout. You have 1x4 and 1x6 scale options over here. Yeah. And this one was selling pretty well as well, based on the numbers I got. So at 1x4 scale, $359, which is a bargain really. And then there is a 1x4 EX version where you get a nude body option for $475 US. And finally, we have a 1x6 scale standard version, $191 US. So the anime just started. Episode 1 was almost an hour. And yeah, to me, the first episode felt really boring. But by the end of the episode, yeah, I think things were starting to look a bit more interesting with the alchemy stuff, right? So I'm actually looking forward to future episodes. And despite the sheer number of genuine Ryza figures out there, that so many brands are making figures of her, Alter, Max Factory, and so on, this resin figure is in high demand as well. Yeah. Like I said, because I am affiliate partners with this website, I have access to the numbers on what is being sold. And this one somehow is selling quite well, which kind of shows you that a lot of figure collectors out there are really horny and very dry people. I mean, yeah, Ryza with almost no clothes on, that alone is enough to make people buy the figure. Personally, I find it a bit too bland to my liking. Seriously. So yeah, what do I know, man? Everyone has their own different tastes, right? And saving the best for the last, of course. From Hobby House Studio, we have Makima from Chainsaw Man. This is a 1x4 scale. The full price for this, $491 US. This is a bargain, seriously, because if you don't pre-order one now, assuming you can afford it, of course, well, this thing is going to be at least $800 or $850 US after release. Yeah. So really, pre-order it early before you regret it if you are interested in this figure. Hobby House Studio, I reviewed their Marin Kitagawa because a very kind follower, subscriber of this channel decided to lend me his copy for a review. That one is $850 US today if you want to purchase one in stock. But he got it for way less because he pre-ordered the figure early, like under $600 US. So with my Hobby House Studio Marin Kitagawa review, yeah, Hobby House Studio is capable of giving us very exquisite faces. And I do believe this face over here, this is one of the best Makima figures out there. Even though Dodomo Studio version is a close competitor, this face looks amazing. I would say this is still better than the one made by Dodomo Studio, but Dodomo Studio version is like $260. This one costs double, so they are not directly comparable. After looking at the face of this Makima figure, this is hands down the best resin figure for this week. Though my personal favorite is still that Kafka figure earlier from Honkai Star Rail. And that concludes resin figure and anime skill figure news for this week. Which figure will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, please do give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more content like this in the future. Until then, see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.